What's up, guys? This is filmmaker Ron K. Armstrong, filmmaker extraordinaire, with another video for you. In this video, I want to talk about how to survive the film industry. And before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live or upload recorded videos. Now, how to survive the film industry. I got my pal here, Lester, as we're going to talk about this subject. But first, some news. I just finished shooting my second Circa commercial, and this is for the opening of the new Circa Hotel and Casino that's happening in downtown Las Vegas. And it's very exciting to be involved in a project like this, especially a commercial where you're sitting around watching TV and you can actually see your work appear and you can get all elated and everything like that. So it was fun. But not only that, did I shoot the commercial, which was a very tough shooting schedule, but things went extremely well. I was basically there making sure that our setups were taking place according to schedule. Actors were in place. Um, Crowd control, because we were shooting in a big casino and you have people walking by going, what's going on? What are you shooting? What is this about? So you have to deal with all that. And then I ended up being an extra. And then I had a friend of mine, I got her involved too. So she appeared in the commercial. So we were up late cutting it and getting it to the TV station. And we made it, so it's great. We cut several different versions of it, so it can run from 30 seconds to 15 seconds. And usually when you make a commercial, you'll cut different lengths or versions of those to air, because commercial airtime on TV is very expensive. Anyway, so after we shot the commercial, I got an opportunity to go to the Rio Hotel to the Star Trek convention this year. It was my first convention in Las Vegas, and when I was in high school, I used to do a lot of Star Trek conventions, but I haven't. I guess that was the last time I went to a Star Trek convention, and I just was overwhelmed by it. To be honest with you, back in high school, mostly guys were going to these conventions. Now you see all of these pretty girls dressed provocatively in their Starfleet uniforms, and I got to walk onto the Enterprise Bridge. So it was great. And I picked up some merchandise, which was great. Next time I'm going to get a Starfleet uniform. And look what I got. I got me a Tribble. If you know anything about Tribbles, what's the trouble with Tribbles? Look at him. He's friendly already. These guys multiply. Alrighty. Okay. Be quiet. Be quiet. Calm down. All right. Now, there's some really interesting things that are happening, and the Star Trek convention was kind of like a litmus test to us, because the new Star Trek Discovery is full of identity politics, SJW philosophy, and many Trekkers don't like it. And I noticed that at this Star Trek convention. I don't like it either. And I didn't want to be involved in any of the panels where they would talk about it. I prefer the old Star Trek. But what I want to say is this. We're living in a very unique time right now where Hollywood is playing this game of identity politics. So they're producing these films where they are belittling men, portraying them as buffoons, unintelligent, inept, while trying to prop up women, mostly portraying them as Mary Sue's, intelligent, no character flaws. But that is the nature of the beast and what we're dealing with. If you want to survive this industry, you have to look at this as a type of an opportunity and say, what scripts do I have on my shelf that I could dust off and market to the industry? So what I went back and I looked at the scripts that I had that were female-centered. And I said, well, now it's all about putting these female characters to the forefront. You see the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, now is saying that they're going to be very diverse, which really means that they're going to be pushing more of the LGBTQ agenda. Or the feminist agenda, whichever one. And so that's a great opportunity for you to now say, do I have a script that conforms to that, that would be embraced now by the industry. And if you have a script that showcases maybe a gay character or a female character, then by all means start pitching it to Hollywood. Get out there, hit the pavement, and just put your pitch together. Make sure it's solid, and start trying to get it optioned. And this is how you can survive the industry, by changing according to the times. The problems that I see with those who are not successful is that they're very, how should we say, pig-headed. They have one script and they want to, it's do or die with that one script. And I understand that and appreciate that. Have your one script that you love and that you're passionate about, that you want to see made, but pay the bills too. You got to keep the lights on. You got to keep a roof over your head. You got to put food on the plate, on the table. So have the other scripts that, hey, maybe you can sell those, option those, get some money to survive off of, while you're really focusing on pushing your dream script out there. So I want you to think about that. I never thought that, hey, you know what, I would be doing commercials. I was always thinking, I just want to do feature films. That's it. I don't want to do commercials. I don't want to do music videos. So lo and behold, I get opportunity to make TV commercials. I'm not going to turn it down. It's going to pay me. You know what I mean? And I can put that on my resume. And sad to say, I see this more so with minority filmmakers, African-American filmmakers. They don't seem to have their finger on the pulse of Hollywood. They don't seem to understand what Hollywood wants. And they keep pumping out the same old nonsense. And what do I mean by that? Is that there's this thing about African-American filmmakers where they want to just do stories about dysfunctional relationships between black men and black women. I don't know why, but they keep doing that and they just don't work and don't sell. So things, and then they turn around and complain that Hollywood's not producing enough black superheroes. Hollywood is not producing enough black science fiction films. Well, you're not writing them. You're not producing them. Why should Hollywood do it if you're not doing it? Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you think I'm wrong, if you just go to a black film festival, there's a number of them, and just take a survey and look at the amount or the genre of films that are there. What you're going to see is it's going to be either one of two types of genres. It's either going to be a dysfunctional love story or a hood gangbang type of story. The only two things you're going to see. You might have an outlier, which is some kid coming along with a sci-fi film, but it's going to be far, and it's just really going to be far and few between. You're not going to see much of that. The lion's share of the films that will be showcasing will all be hood films, and it will be love stories like a Love Jones. But again, just dysfunctional love stories where we're trying to get along and we can't get along. Another thing I want to talk to you about is this, and I have to make this plain and simple. We must understand that those filmmakers who have gotten acclaim, who have gotten pushed to the forefront, and that you read about, I'm talking about even filmmakers that I like Spike Lee, Kevin Smith, Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino. There was always a short door of opportunity, a short window that allowed them to get into the industry because the industry was ready and open to support that type of filmmaker. That's how they were able to gain entry. See, Hollywood has an agenda of what they want to push at a particular time. If you meet that agenda, then they will work with you and they will give you the highest amount of exposure. If you go against that grain, you'll be marginalized. You'll be put on the peripheral. Now, I see this as a very negative thing because I see it as a way of manipulating. And I'll give you an example. When we see films by certain um, female directors, um, like Issa Rae. We have to understand that she did not get to where she is on the merit of her artistic creativity. She got to where she is because her little web series fit into their black feminist ideology that they wanted to push. And she happened to have the right product at the right time. Now, I'm not trying to, I don't want to come along like I'm hating on her or anything like that, but I don't like the fact that Hollywood preaches this thing about if you're talented, if you're creative, you'll eventually get known. No, that's not it. They should say, if your philosophy, if your perspective on your art fits with our manipulative agenda, then we will work with you. And I'm sorry, but that is the way it is. And Hollywood is not fair. And in fact, many stories that you'll see filmmakers talking about in the trades and the publication about how they got discovered, how they got their work out there, are lies. And I can testify to that because when I did my feature film, one of the things that they said was we have to concoct or create a story that can resonate with other filmmakers, the public, to help sell and market your film. So I had to create this story where it was somewhat based on the truth, but exaggerated, so they could seem like you too can be a filmmaker. You too can go from rags to riches. And what I find most disheartening is that when I present this truth to filmmakers, they outright reject it. And they call me names and they say, you don't know what you're talking about. But I've been in this industry for a long time. And I've worked in this industry in different capacities. So I know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of how they operate behind the scenes. When you look at famous filmmakers, again, not trying to down anybody, but like Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry fits really well within the system. An effeminate black man who is willing to put on a dress, who's willing to kind of be laughable, buffoonish in a way. And because that meets with Hollywood's perspective on what they want a black man to be seen as on a global level, they can sign off on him. Kevin Hart, who I believe is nothing but a buffoon, very well paid, very well backed by the industry because he fits that narrative of the buffoonish, non-threatening black male. But if you are, for example, a very intelligent Asian person or intelligent black male, and you come along and you want to push a script that is not according to the identity politics or the SJW agenda at this particular time, rest assured you're going to be pushed to the peripheral. You're not going to be seen or heard. This is why I'm saying that you have to find other means and methods for squeezing in. And it may be to do projects that could get you into the industry so that you can network and so that you can push your real dream. Kind of like you have to be a Trojan horse. I'm willing to do the commercial, the music video, but in my back pocket, I have my dream script, and never, ever give up on that. All right? Don't lose yourself in doing these projects that you may not be passionate about and make that be your main thing. Don't do that. Understand that you're doing that just as a means to an end. And that's how you're going to survive in this industry. And I hope I've imparted some bit of wisdom onto you, and that you will, if you don't believe me, you will do the research, investigate it for yourself, and you will see the narrative that is being pushed at this particular time. So that you'll understand that if you can have your finger on the pulse of what the industry is looking for, then you could be successful. It doesn't mean becoming a chameleon and changing with the times, but what it means is that you have a sophisticated understanding of the needs and wants of the industry. And you're willing to go along with that to a certain degree in order to fulfill your own objective or agenda. And I truly believe that your art should help change the world for the better. That your art should say something. That it's not there simply for laughs and giggles or aesthetic appreciation only. That there is substance to it. So that's all I have, and I hope this resonates with you. This is filmmaker Ron K. Armstrong, filmmaker extraordinaire. Until my next video, keep making films.